visual learning tool is based on the principles of effective meeting procedures as outlined in the Running the Organisation section of the Community Club Toolkit. If you hate going to meetings, it's probably because they're not properly run, or because you're nervous about not knowing what the proper procedures are. Like most things, if you don't have a plan, things can quickly go pear-shaped. Meetings are exactly the same. Here's what can happen when you try to run a meeting without planning.
Come on, it's 5:45. We better get started.
Not everyone's here yet.
We were meant to start at 5:30.
It's really important to start your meeting on time and stick to the time frame set out in the meeting notice and the agenda. But what's an agenda? Well,
What are we doing here? What are we going to discuss tonight?
once you've let everyone know when the meeting is on, that's called a meeting notice, and you can send that out by email or text or social media, you'll need an agenda. An agenda is a plan that's set out before the meeting or given at the start of the meeting that tells everyone what the meeting is actually about and how long there will be to discuss each item on the agenda. It's like an action plan. Right here in the Community Club Toolkit, there's an example of an agenda that you can download and adapt for your own use at meetings.
James, we discussed this last time.
I wouldn't know, I wasn't here.
Didn't you get a copy of the minutes?
Minutes. What are minutes?
Minutes simply refer to the summary of what was discussed and what actions were decided on at the last meeting. Minutes don't have to be long, that's why they're called minutes, not hours. But they need to be an accurate record of what went on. That way, everyone knows what happened, who was there, and what was decided. So you don't waste time going over it all again. There's a template you can use for minutes right here in the Community Club Toolkit.
But why don't we just stop all this and just talk about what we're up to with the money?
Most clubs and organisations have to handle money, but how do you keep track of it? And whose job is that? Well, a budget is a plan that shows what money is coming in and going out, how much you have in the bank and how much you'll need. The person whose job it is to look after the money and the accounts is the treasurer.
Wait, what's a treasurer?
Look in the Community Club Toolkit and you'll find information on what the treasurer does. And there's also a downloadable template that will show you step by step how to put a budget together.
This is not working!
One sure way to lose or discourage members from taking on leadership roles is to run messy, time-consuming and ineffective meetings. But there's a much easier and less stressful way. And all the help you need is right here in the Community Club Toolkit. There are explanations of what all the different terms mean and what the various roles within a committee are. There are also some really simple and easy to use examples of forms like minutes, agendas and budgets that will help take the pain out of running a meeting or even being involved in meetings. So let's try that again. It helps to sit at a table or a desk. You don't have to be strictly formal, but it makes your meetings a little bit more professional.
Okay, let's get started. We need to start on time and it's 5:30.
Always start at the appointed time. Latecomers can catch up, but don't go back over things. It teaches other people to be on time.
But Mike isn't here.
We have a quorum. He can catch up later.
A quorum is the number of people required to make the meeting official. This is a number decided on when you're setting up your committee. It's designed to make sure decisions aren't made without the knowledge or agreement of a majority.
Does everybody have a copy of the agenda?
Yeah.
An agenda is a plan of what you're going to discuss and the way the meeting will run. Without an agenda, meetings quickly get out of control and very often don't come to any decisions. An agenda keeps everyone on track and on time. It's a good idea to have timeframes included for each of your agenda items too.
Has everyone read the minutes from the last meeting?
Yeah.
Minutes are a record of what happened at the last meeting. The secretary usually takes or records the minutes. They don't have to be word for word, but should accurately reflect the discussions and what actions were decided on. They should also record who was there, those who were present and who wasn't there. They are referred to as apologies. Ideally, the secretary will circulate printed copies of minutes in the week following the meeting, or at the very least hand out copies when the next meeting starts. The minutes should also be read out, and everyone should vote on whether they think those minutes are accurate. If not, changes need to be recorded too. It's a good way of making sure everyone's accountable and that you don't go over old ground, but it's also a really good way of recording the history of your club or organisation.
Can I have someone move the minutes?
I'll move the minutes.
I'll second that.
When there's a decision to be made or an action to be taken, there's usually someone who comes up with the idea or asks for that action to be taken. That person will ask or be asked to move a motion, that the club does this or that, and then someone will second that motion. In other words, they'll agree to that idea or plan of action to be put to the meeting. The committee will then vote on whether or not to proceed with that motion. This makes sure everyone has a say in the way the club is run.
Okay, the first item on the agenda is to discuss our budget. Tristan, you're the treasurer.
Oh yeah, I have my treasurer's reporting.
Hand that out, please.
People are often put off by the idea of having to look after the club's money, a job that's called being treasurer. But if you have some guidelines, it's really easy. Having a plan or a budget makes the job quite straightforward. A budget sets out what money comes in and goes out, and the treasurer oversees that paperwork and keeps track of the books. It's pretty much as simple as that. Sometimes there will be things that need to be discussed that are important, but for whatever reason, were not included on the agenda. So it's important to leave time for what's called general business, and that's where people raise these items of concern. General business should have a strict time frame applied, because it's here that meetings can really run over time. If there are still things to be discussed once that time for general business has expired, hold those items over to be included on the agenda for the next meeting.
That concludes the general business. Anything else anyone would like to say?
Let's set a date for next meeting. How about next Tuesday?
Sounds good.
Tuesday sounds great.
Awesome.
Always make sure to set a time, date and venue for your next meeting, and invite people to email or send in any items they want to put on the agenda for that meeting. Also, make sure you record the time the meeting closed, because anything discussed after that time isn't part of the official meeting, and sometimes people can get confused.
That concludes our meeting at 6:30.
There's no need to be scared off by the idea of meetings, and remember, the Community Club Toolkit is there to help. Go to www.communityclubtoolkit.com, where you'll find templates and advice and lots of tips to help make sure your meeting's a success, not a mess. For more information, go to www.communityclubtoolkit.com.